Hi, my name is Marsha. I'm the blonde from Coding Blonde, and today's topic is leadership. Becoming a better leader is so important nowadays. So I have interviewed Danielle, who is in charge of growth and strategy at Leadership Camp and is also a principal at Merge Lane Venture Fund. Danielle knows a thing or two about leadership and is going to give you some awesome tools and exercises on how you can become a better leader today. Are you guys ready to become better leaders? Let's watch our interview. Hi Danielle, how are you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm so excited to talk to you about leadership today.
Me too. I am so excited for all the tips and all the advice that you're going to give my audience on how they can be better leaders. So let's start with my first question, which I'm sure is a question that everybody has. What is leadership skills and why do you need them?
Yeah. Leadership is just your ability to manifest what you say you want in the world. A lot of times we're operating just from a place of response. We're responding to all the inputs that are coming at us. But leadership is about creating. And we say we want a lot of things, but when we show up as leaders, we find a way to manifest those things. At Leadership Camp, we use a model of conscious leadership. And that just means our ability to manifest what we say we want in the world from a place of awareness. And those skills are just the tools to do that.
That's awesome. But I'm sure a lot of people watching this might be a bit skeptical. They might say, but I don't manage people. I'm not in a leadership position. Do I need to work on my leadership skills in this case? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, great question. So a lot of people think that leadership is just about getting other people to do what they want them to do. But leadership is actually about galvanizing others around a shared vision. And you can do that whether or not you're managing people. So here's an example. At Merge Lane, we invest in startups with at least one female leader. And we specifically invest in early stage startups. When we do that, that means we're investing often in just 2 or 3 co-founders. Those co-founders aren't yet managing a team of people, but we're still evaluating their leadership skills and their leadership potential. We need people who are going to be able to galvanize others around their shared vision. And so even if you're not managing people right now, you might be in a few months or a few years, or maybe you never will be, but you can still show up as a leader with your friends, with your family, and in your community. Create something and get others to join you.
That's awesome. I hope that all the skeptics have been convinced now. So how can people work on their leadership skills and improve their leadership style or become better leaders, essentially?
Yeah. What I have found is it starts here. The only thing I have control over is myself. And the only person who I can really know and understand their core motivations and desires is myself. And so in conscious leadership, one tool we use for that is the Enneagram. And the Enneagram is a personality typing system, which really looks at your core motivation. It looks at your core desires and your core fears. And I found that by understanding my Enneagram type, and my Enneagram type is a type 3, the achiever, I understand a lot more why I do what I do and how I show up in the world. That's a great way to start.
That's awesome. And is there an exercise that that you would recommend for the viewers and for me that will help us become better leaders that we can start practicing today?
Yeah. So a few come to mind. First, go find out your Enneagram type. I'm not affiliated with the Enneagram, I just really believe in it. You can do that at enneagraminstitute.com. It's $12 takes 30 minutes, and you can take the RETI test, R-H-E-T-I, and find out your Enneagram type. It's one thing you can do right now. The next thing I really like to do before I really dive into any of this work is get present and get in the room. Do you want to do a presencing exercise?
Yeah, I would love to.
All right. So I'll just lead a short guided presencing exercise, and you can do this from wherever you are right now. Just take a second to get comfortable wherever you're seated, whatever feels good to you. There's no right way to do this, right? You could be standing, sitting, cross-legged on the floor, whatever feels good. If you feel comfortable, maybe close your eyes and just start by taking a couple deep breaths in. And on your next inhale, try to extend your inhale to a 4 count. And exhale for a 4 count. Do that a couple more times. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Notice if there's anything taking you out of presence right now. Maybe the camera. Maybe it's a thought. Maybe it's about something that you think you should be doing right now or could be doing right now, or whatever it is, just let that be there. And start to notice any feelings you have, your feet on the floor or your seat. I notice my back on a pillow. And notice what's going on around you. There's a noise. We can hear children laughing down on Pearl Street in Boulder. Take note of your space. Notice how your breath is showing up in your body. And when you're ready, just come back into the room. Open your eyes if you have them closed. How do you feel?
Much more relaxed.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. Much more relaxed, much more. I find that meditation and I guess presence is, this exercise is kind of like meditation, very similar.
Yeah.
Helps me put things in perspective and really declutter my head, which I struggle with.
Me too. And I think like a misnomer about meditation or presencing is it has to look a certain way or it has to be a certain amount of time, and you can just take a few seconds, a minute or two, and just get present, get here. And when I do that, I find I have a lot more space in my day to be creative and just show up differently.
I can absolutely see that because I have so much free space in my brain right now that I didn't have before this exercise. Because, you always think about what you haven't done, what you have to do, what are you late on, deadlines. So, yeah, this is a great exercise.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, Masha, I have one more for you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes. Are you guys ready? Are you following?
All right. So one complaint I hear often from leaders is, they didn't hear me. I told them what I thought and I gave my input, but they didn't listen. Or a lot of times what I find is feeling frustrated when someone argues back something that I feel is my truth. Why are you arguing with me? That's my truth. And one tool and skill we use in conscious leadership is this idea of unarguable speech. It means speaking in a way that really can't be argued with. And there are 3 different things to notice that can help you do that. The first is body sensations. What do I notice right now? I notice my shoulders feel a little tight. Can't be argued with. Something I'm experiencing. The next piece is feelings. Yeah, let's roll it out. The next piece of unarguable speech is feelings. What am I feeling right now? And we stick to 5 core feelings, but can use what you like. We use joy, fear, sadness, creativity or sexual energy, and anger. So I can just name a feeling right now. I feel joy. Can't be argued with. The next piece is naming our thoughts. So I might have the thought that I'm scared because I don't know if you like me. Now, I could make up a story. I could tie a story to that thought. A story is just something I make up in my head, right? I could make up a story that Masha doesn't like me. Now, that might not be true with a capital T, but it could still be true for me. I'm still having the thought that you don't like me. And if I share it in that way and I really take ownership over those thoughts and feelings, then you might receive it a lot differently than if I come at you with an attack and I say, Masha, you don't like me. You might get defensive, right? Instead, I could share that feedback with you and I could say, Masha, I'm noticing my heart is beating fast. I feel scared and I'm having the thought that you don't like me. Now, you could respond totally differently to that feedback.
Absolutely, because it's not an attack.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. I don't know how to, I guess, describe it versus an attack, but yeah, it's it's received in a completely different way.
That was just for show. I know Masha loves me.
We're gonna go for coffee after this, so yeah. Just proof, social proof. But those are awesome exercises. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And this is something that we can start practicing literally today. Both presencing and what did you call the?
Unarguable speech.
Unarguable speech. Yeah, because you can't argue with that.
Yeah. Great way to just get, first of all, taking note of those three things for me is just like, getting clear with what's happening for me, right? Instead of just living in all of my thoughts and all the things happening in my head, I could just take a moment to slow down and say, what is going on for me right now? And a lot of times, especially with the body sensations, there's a lot of information there. Our bodies know a lot before we do. So if my heart is racing, I can notice, often when that happens, I feel scared. Am I scared right now? Or if I notice that I feel a warmth in my chest, I might say, that feels like joy. I feel joy. So just information, just more noticing for us.
That's awesome. And sorry, I'm going in a bit of a tangent here, but I love the idea of naming emotions, naming feelings, because I find that when I can verbalize, when I can put a word on what I'm feeling, I really become much clearer with what it is. Because before that, it's something unknown, but once I have a word for it, and that's why I love learning languages, because you have words that for different things that you never knew before, and especially it's true about emotions, because you can finally have a word for what you're feeling.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of languages, could you share with us an emotion you're feeling right now in Russian?
Oh my god, I need to switch my head. my brain into thinking in Russian. That's a good one. I don't know why I can't speak Russian right now. But
do you speak Russian?
I do. But what I'm trying to say, I can't say it in Russian. You see, I don't have a word for it in Russian, I think. I would say in English, excited and caffeinated. That jittery excitement that comes from being caffeinated.
Totally.
And from a good, stimulating conversation. So, yeah, I don't have a word for it in Russian. If anybody who is Russian speaking watching this, please name that feeling, because I'm blanking right now. Whoops. Yay, languages! Can't do that.
Excited and caffeinated. I love it.
Caffeinated.
Cool.
And so one of my biggest missions is to empower women, especially women in tech. And obviously there's so many women in tech who are trying to become better leaders. What advice would you give to women in particular who are striving to become better leaders in today's society, essentially?
All right, 2 thoughts come to mind. The first is get curious, and the second is honor yourself. So what I mean when I say get curious is ask a wonder question. Every once in a while, say, I wonder what would happen if. See where that takes you. Who knows what doors that could open up for you. Just getting curious. And also getting curious about how we can hold things maybe a little more lightly. So if you notice yourself getting really serious about something, some advice I have is just ask yourself, I wonder if I could hold this just a little bit more lightly. I find when I do that, I'm able to just have a bigger sense of play and creativity, and I have more fun. And the second piece of advice I have is honor yourself. So really check when you say yes to something or when you're doing something, are you doing it for you? Or are you doing it because you feel like you should or you have to, or someone else will be upset if you don't do it? A lot of times we take on things that aren't ours to take on. And I see women doing this quite often, really holding space and holding responsibility for other people. But I encourage you to just check, am I doing this for me? Because if I'm not doing this for me, not only am I doing a disservice to myself, but I'm actually doing a disservice to the other person as well. So the more you do what's right for you, the more you can show up as authentically you and be your authentic self in the world.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thanks, Masha.
And how can people find you?
All right. Well, they can find me on Twitter at Danielle Dannon, and they can find us at Leadership Camp. If you type into your browser, www.leadership.camp.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danielle, for sharing your insights and tools with us, and also for doing those exercises with me and with my audience. That was very useful. I felt so peaceful, and this is something that I'm going to start practice much more. I'm going to do this personality test right after I'm done filming, and if anybody watching this got inspired to do that personality test as well, please comment your results in the comments. I would be super curious to know what personality type you guys are. I'll post mine in the comments as well. And if you guys want to learn more about the tools that Danielle has mentioned, all the links will be in the description below, and also there will be an active link to Danielle's Twitter and to Leadership Camp in case if you want to learn more about that. And of course, follow my channel, press that like button if you like this video, let me know what you thought about it in the comments, and share it with a friend who you think could benefit from all of the tools and all the information that Danielle has shared with us. Yes, you can also find me on other social media at Coding Blonde. Please join the family on Instagram and all of those other places. All of the links will also be in the description. And have a wonderful time of the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.